Hello, this is David Lindsley. In this presentation, I'll talk about a particular artifact and its very interesting details. This is a beautiful slate box that was discovered in the 1890s on the Canadian side of Lake St. Clair while a man was digging a foundation for a house. Lake St. Clair is east of Detroit and is situated between Lake Huron and Lake Erie. The box, along with several other items, are still in the family's possession. Many slate and clay boxes have been found, and most have similar internal sizes. It is speculated that they served as funerary boxes or urns to hold the ashes of the deceased. While examining photos of all the sides of this box, I noticed differences in the art styles. I believe that at least 3 different artists created this box, possibly 4 or even 5. Let's take a look at each part of the box. This is the front long side of the box. I'll call this the work of Artist A. He used nice straight lines to create the outside border, probably using some sort of straight edge. Then he carefully drew the curved decorations with good repetition. On the freehand drawings, shown in purple, his line style was smooth and confident, with all of the lines being about the same thickness. Here's the other long side of the box, which I believe was also created by Artist A. I believe he drew the borders first, again with a straight edge. The borders are very similar to the front side, straight double lines with a curved decoration inside. It looks like he had planned for 2 rows of writing and scribed very faint legend lines for both rows. Then he engraved each character very boldly and carefully. Many of the straight up and down lines of the characters look like a straight edge was used. The lower right corner is interesting. The 2 portraits at the right were drawn after the legend lines were etched and may have not been originally planned to be there. Here in the upper left corner is the group of characters known as the mystic symbol, or Yod-Heva. This symbol appears on many, if not all, of the Michigan artifacts. Here I want to compare how it was drawn in 2 places on this side of the box. Notice that the so-called mystic symbol in the top row is drawn with straight lines and has square tops and tapering posts that look like nails. But the mystic symbol on the bottom row is drawn thick with rounded tops. Notice that the large K-looking characters in the middle row are straight with nice even lines. But the K-looking characters on the bottom row were drawn freehand and are uneven. I think that the 3rd row of writing was not originally planned and perhaps added by someone other than Artist A. This is the work of Artist B. He drew the art on the 2 small end pieces of the box. He had a very different drawing style than Artist A. Instead of carefully drawn lines using a straight edge, he used a freehand gouging technique for his borders, as shown in green. His line work is very thick and bold. Artist B also added a little variety by putting a lot of dots in the background. The sides and the lid do not have this dot pattern. This is the lid of the box, and I believe a 3rd artist created it, who I'll call Artist C. He started with a fairly straight border, highlighted here in white, probably using some sort of straight edge. But on the rest of the engraving, all the other lines are crooked and vary in spacing and thickness, which indicates to me that these lines were drawn freehand. Frankly, it's a bit sloppy. His written characters were drawn small and weak. The engraved lines are thin and are barely more than scratches in the surface. The lines on the portraits are a combination of thin and thick lines, indicating to me hesitancy and a little clumsiness. However, unlike the other artists, Artist C did put more detail in the two faces, such as better eyes and indications of hair. Let's look closer at the drawings of the portraits on this box. Notice the different style of the portraits between the three artists. Artists A and B both drew their lines thick and deep. Artist C drew with very thin lines. Artist A drew eyes with a single stroke and added another stroke for the eyebrow. Artist B drew eyes with two strokes, indicating the top and bottom eyelids, and another stroke for the eyebrow. While Artist C drew eyes with eyebrow, eyelids, and eye. Also note that each artist had a different way of drawing an ear. Both artists B and C drew cheek lines from the nose to the mouth, but artist A omitted this detail. As for the written letters, the handwriting styles of artists A and C are very different. The third row of characters on the back of the box doesn't match either style. Perhaps artist B wrote these? I believe a fourth artist created the little sculpture on the lid. It could have been one of the other three, but I doubt it. I'll call him artist D. Everyone seems to have had a specialized task. One to do the sides, one to do the ends, one to do the lid, and probably one to carve a three-dimensional figure for the top of the box. Notice how Egyptian-looking the sculpture is, looking like a sphinx. Like the sphinx that has the face of a leader, this face may be a portrait of the dearly departed whose ashes are contained in the box. The assembly of this box included copper corner pieces and fasteners to hold all the sides and base together. Perhaps a fifth artist made the base and shaped the copper to put it all together. This step did not necessarily require an artist, but someone with skill in metalworking. I believe the varying styles of artwork show that several artists working as a team created this fascinating box. Why is this important? It indicates to me that artifacts like this were made by skilled artisans who customized their work for a specific client, perhaps in a workshop just for this purpose. This does not look like a forger who allegedly mass-produced fake relics to sell to unsuspecting collectors. I believe this unique original is genuine, and I continue to feel amazement at the established culture that produced such beautiful pieces. I've presented here just a taste of the enormous evidence that supports our prophets and scholars for a North American setting to the Book of Mormon. There are countless books, articles, and videos that give much more information than I can share. If you want to know more, I recommend, as a starting point, you consider Wayne May's new magazine series called Land of Promise: Uncovering Ancient America. In each issue are dozens of articles by prominent authors and researchers such as Wayne May, Bruce Porter, Jonathan Neville, David Hawking, Kevin Price, and many others. Please visit my website, davidlindsley.com. There I have several works of art. Also on my site, you'll find several replicas that I created after some of the Michigan artifacts. I also have a book titled The Land Northward. This 200-page full-color book describes the land northward and southward, and the location of the narrow neck, along with the likely path the Nephites traveled from their first landing to their eventual destruction at the Hill Cumorah, and much more. And you can also find links to all of my YouTube videos. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this and will share it with your friends.